So today I just acquired the most grail of all grails, to the point where I just expected I would never acquire one for the reasons that it's just hard to get your hands on one. And then today I got my hands on the Thistle by Mantis, or I should say a Thistle by Mantis, because Mantis Knives, if you don't know, makes handmade knives in two genres. Thistles are these titanium sandwich knives with carbon fiber scales, and Idolos are all titanium handles. And so each one of them is handmade, and they all have different blade profiles and builds and weights and whatever. And this one is like this kukri blade and a carbon fiber scales that I don't really know how to describe, but they're very pretty. It has carbon fiber spacers, actually. Let me give this away. 3.95. I'd also like to apologize because I actually have some hardware issues with this microphone that I'm trying to sort out that's affecting my professional job as a composer. But yeah, bear with me. I'm sorry about the volume issues with my microphone. Anyways, here is the Thistle. This Thistle is, it's kind of interesting to chap on because this enormous Zen cup. It's like not the most comfortable. And you can tell that this is handmade just based off of how the grinds are. The grind lines, you can see them as, I mean, you can tell they're taken with a wheel. Wow. This is beautiful. Interestingly, if you look at the knife in the channel, it's like really tight. Really tight. Apparently, you can make it tap. I'm not really going to fuck around with this because this knife... Here's the thing about Mantis knives. If you're wondering, why were you thinking you could never acquire one? Well, for one, each of them are unique. Well, some of them are like, this... I don't actually know which number this is because he doesn't number them. I actually reached out to Mantis himself. Each one is handmade and different. And the price of them has only just gone up. He doesn't usually sell his knives. He makes his knives for himself, and then when he gets bored of them, he's like, yeah, I think I'll sell them. And so, when people see his knives, some people have a sort of pseudo-private bidding war. And that means they'll just DM him and be like, hey, if you ever sell this knife, I'll buy it for like $1,200. And then he goes, we'll see. And then someone else will like outbid them, and it just goes up. And I actually told Mantis himself, I'm like, wow, these knives are like really affordable for what the work is going into. For handmade knives of like high quality, and also just like, Damascus and Damascus and full dress builds and whatever the fuck. They were like around $1,000, which JK charges for his machined knives. And for handmade knives, this actually has pretty great tolerances. I'm not gonna really force this, but essentially, they're really fucking hard to get your hands on, and he never really publicly sells them. It's just kind of like, I guess I will finally let this go. And the highest bidder was like $2,000. So a certain someone who I will not name is an absolute jackwipe, and he sold this. And then that eventually made its way to me. Now let's talk about the knife. This knife, it's got some real nice bounce. Wow. And in the hands, these carbon fiber scales are really fucking comfortable. I'm not really going to fuck around with the tune just because these knives are worth a lot. Like, I'm not going to modify. Like, sometimes I, like, draw a little. I will, like, ink the logo of the blade. I'm not going to do that for this knife. No siree. I'm going to keep this. If there's any knife I'm going to safe queen, it's this one. But I'm still going to flip it. Heck, maybe I can see if I can, like, trade up to someone with, like, a full build. But I don't know. I'm honestly just happy to even own one of these. God fucking damn. Whew. Wow, that just, it sounds amazing. It flips very, it's like sort of neutral. Let me see. It feels neutral enough that I don't really raise an eyebrow when I fan it. I don't raise an eyebrow when I fan it, but now I'm like trying to think about it. I'm like, yeah, this feels neutral. Any wobble? Maybe, not really. Let's try the other handle. It's actually nicer if you fan on the bite side. Kukris are kind of like that, where just because of the weight distribution, it's really easy for a kukri knife to have a pseudo imbalance when you flip on one handle versus the other, just because the blade is not even. Like, as you can see, there's just a lot more material like forward here, and then there's like a spine that goes back here. And I actually was just watching Will Hirsch's video about the blade profiles, because he was talking about the Volt Pro, which hopefully I can get my hands on. But as you can see, this tip here actually aligns really beautifully with the center, but despite being this kukri. Wow, I'm just amazed that I have this in my hands. This is a handmade knife that is just feels really good, and it, like, I can tell this is a good flipper. Like, a lot of times makers of handmade knives and high-end balisongs that are not JK will make balisongs more for collector's items than for flipping. And sometimes makers who do handmade stuff, like Sierravo's knives are actually very affordable, but they do have some dubious tolerances that if you like old school balisongs, if you like old school balisongs, shout out to old school balisong, you can forgive Sierravo's less than stellar tolerance. Ouchie. Less than stellar tolerances. A lot of tap and whatever, because just like, you know, it's a handmade knife, and they're really pretty. They are legitimately really pretty. This is a handmade knife with just really fucking good balance for a kukri, especially. Like, I'm just like, wowzers. It's nice. It's like a very comfortable weight for me. 3.95 is like very, like, it's an average light. A light average weight. And it feels very good. Let's just, oh god, okay. Oopsies. Not my sword. Not my fucking sword. Okay. Oh, I almost got a perfect parabolic first try. Oh my god, I almost got another parabolic. I'm just scared because this knife is sharp enough to cut. Let's see. Yoink. Close. Ah! I'm like basically getting them. Let's. Oh god! It is a new knife for me. Ooh, that sounds so fucking good. It sounds so good. Ah! I have now lubricated it too. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's. Now, I know some people who can do the ice pick catch like amazingly. I'm not one of those people. I can do a pretty decent ice pick sound test, but I'm trying to. Oh man, this knife. You know what? Let me just spend more time showing it off. We have this that just is. All right, I'm gonna have to turn off this light just because it's really affecting the. Moving the microphone so you don't hear less. Here is this gorgeous knife. Oh my god, maybe I do need the light on. This hand ground blade with. I was wondering, is this a hollow grind? No, it's just a machine grind. Just a flat. Up here, you have the flat here, and then you have this gorgeous blade with a satin finish. I don't want it. No, it's definitely not mirror polish. And then you have these scales that are just very nice, and they're very smooth. Shit, maybe I will turn on the light again. I'm sorry. It's like. So you have T10 pivots, it seems, up here. This honestly looks like T6 Zen pins. And T6, I don't know, I can double check, for spacers. You can tell that these are carbon fiber as well for these spacers because it's the same color. It's like, yeah, you can see it like looks like a wood grain. And these liners, well, I mean, they're liners. Spacers go kind of far. There is no jimping. I will always point out if there is no jimping. But this being like a handmade knife, more of a collector's item, it's like, it's okay. Oh my god, it makes me look so fucking white. But like my other options are to put like a blue, red, or yellow fucking filter on this fucking light. And yeah. So anyways, Mantis Thistle. I will hopefully be able to give you a number question mark on which number thistle this is. But oh my god, it is nice. Handles are kind of, they feel round and smooth. Just honestly incredibly comfortable to flip. It just sounds so fucking nutty too. For a sandwich, I don't know. I'm still kind of soaking it in, and I own a fucking Mantis Bladeworks knife, and it's beautiful. It's so fucking beautiful, and it flips really well. And my only kind of like pseudo complaint is just that the Zen cup is enormous, but honestly the Zen pin's actually that fucking huge. Like, look at that Zen pin. It's a fucking massive Zen pin. So I guess I don't have to worry about these pins eroding anytime, because they're chonksters. Holy shit. Wow. Oh, how's the handle gap? Actually pretty large. I can fit my pinky through comfortably, but not like absurdly large like the Defcon. This is a pretty average. It's like a higher than average handle gap, but not unusual. Yeah, it's I would say higher than average handle gap. Oh, I'm just like, oh god. Holy shit. Honestly, I'm not sure how often I'm gonna flip this, because I'm just scared that I'll like fuck it up. There's like a little wee bit of nicks in the blade. They're very, very, very small nicks. But I am too scared to even sand these out, just because I don't want to fuck with the integrity of this blade. Like, holy fucking shit. And yeah, it flips good. It has a good fucking... It has momentum for a neutral knife, for a kukri knife. Like, the rollovers are a little blade heavy because of how kukris are designed, but not in like a atrocious blade biased way. It just feels like rollovers are a little funky with... When you have unique blade designs, the more wild a blade design goes, the more variability there is to, one, the consistency of actually flipping, and two, specifically rollovers. Shit. I do find that there's a lot of blade momentum, like a ton of blade momentum with rollovers. There is weight at the end, but I do feel like most of the momentum comes from the blade opposed to equal parts blade and handle. This is not an issue. It's just something to get used to. I did find that earlier when I did the Haystack Raindrop Kukri Devil, there was insane blade momentum, and there was a lot more ass weight. But it was like this, but like times 10 in terms of extreme. Maybe 10's a big number. It was like definitely way more extreme than how I'm feeling with this. The Goose is somewhat like this, but like kind of backwards, just because of how fucking huge the spine is. And the Goose is like a pseudo kukri. I don't know. Kukris are fucking dope, but they do affect rollovers. It's hard to make a kukri that will roll over as consistently as a tanto. At least in my opinion. I'm sure someone out there, like, you know, if you're a blade maker and you're like, fuck you, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Fucking yeah, tell me what I don't know, please. Anyways, I am gonna wrap this up, and shoutouts to Mantis for making these beautiful fucking handmade knives. And check the coffee in my description, and also subscribe. Have a good one.